I just wanted to do a video about false prophets rising in these last days. There's a lot of false prophets out there roaming the earth, and I noticed that there's a lot of false prophets on the internet, like on YouTube and on social media, and they want to come up with these phony predictions, like of a catastrophic event that will happen on a particular day, or they want to set dates on when they think the rapture of the church is going to happen. I mean, it's crazy, but it is prophetic, and the scriptures must be fulfilled. So to the believers in Christ, we got to be careful on the videos that we watch and what we read, and even people coming to us in person. We got to be careful about that, because believing in a false prophet is a very dangerous thing to do. Believing in false prophecies. Now, several months ago, a friend of mine actually called me a prophet. It's one of my warning comes before destruction videos that I recorded on June 29th that my friend watched. And I didn't know what kind of disaster was going to happen, but I sensed in my spirit, man, that something was about to happen. And in that video, I was just quoting the scriptures, okay? I was just speaking the scriptures, and God was just speaking through me. And on the next day, June 30th, there was a devastating fire in Arizona. And like I said, I didn't know that that was going to happen, but God was just speaking through me. And I've mentioned this several times that I am not a prophet, okay? I'm not going around, claiming to be a prophet. If I was to go around and claim to be a prophet, knowing that I'm not, God will, He will strip away the visions that He's been showing me, and He will stop using signs and wonders through my ministry, okay? So I don't play around with that, because God takes that very, very seriously. But see, when it comes to false prophets, Satan, he's using false prophets to come up with these phony predictions, and he's doing that to confuse people. That's what it's about. It's about confusing people. It's about throwing people off and getting them to believe a lie and not the truth. And we know God is not the author of confusion. 1 Corinthians 14:33. Now, there are several scriptures that I want to read that has to do with false prophets. And Jesus, He mentioned about false prophets several times, starting with Matthew 7:15, that says, "Beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves." Matthew 24:11 says, "And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many." Matthew 24:24 says, "For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect." And Jesus also said in Mark 13:22, "For false Christs and false prophets shall rise and shall show signs and wonders to seduce, if it were possible, even the elect." That's the key word, seduce. And that's exactly what Satan is doing through these false prophets. One of the major demonic spirits is the seducing spirit, and getting into the minds of these false prophets and trying to confuse people and get them to believe a lie and not the truth. And that's why I say that I am not a prophet, because a lot of false prophets are out there just lying to people, and that's exactly what Satan wants. According to what 1 Timothy 4:1 says, "Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils." See, I love Bible prophecy, and And when it comes to the visions, you know, I'm taking part in the fulfillment of Bible prophecy, but I don't want to fulfill Bible prophecy in a negative way. And in 1 Timothy 4:1, you know, people departing from the faith, you know, they're giving in to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. You know, I don't want to do that. You know, I don't want to fulfill Bible prophecy in a negative way. So that's why I don't go around claiming to be a prophet. Now, 2 Peter chapter 2, verses 1 and 2 says, "But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among the people, or among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of." You notice the last part in verse 1, it says, "And bring upon themselves swift destruction." I don't want that to happen in my life, you know, so that's, you know, another reason why I don't claim to be a prophet. So in the biblical times, there were false prophets, and there are false prophets today. You know, false prophets, false teachers, and false Christs. You know, the scriptures are definitely being fulfilled. But see, what we have to do, what the believers have to do, is what 1 John 4:1 says. "Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world." Bible prophecy is definitely being fulfilled with these phony prophets coming up with these phony predictions and stuff. False prophets is one of the end time signs that we are living in the last days.